This is News 3 Now at 5.
Right now, the snow is done, but the work to clear it away is not. Many parts of Madison and parts south seeing a healthy heaping, at least 4 inches overnight and into the morning.
We have team coverage of the storm, including current road conditions, how many or few crashes Dane County Dispatch saw, and why there was a tricky call for schools to make early this morning. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti on the weather patio with the latest snowfall totals. Gary?
Boy, you know, Charlotte, this was a really tough storm. You know, we've been watching it for almost a week, noticing that the heaviest snowfalls would probably fall just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. And I kept saying, you know, sometimes these storms will shift a little farther north, and it did by about 2 counties. And you can see the heaviest band of snow shifted from along and just south of the Illinois state line to right over Madison. And we really didn't know until it started snowing late last night where that band of snow is going to set up. But still to the north, you can see how sharp the cutoff was. North of the Dells, out toward La Crosse, very little, if any, snow, whereas most of southern Wisconsin saw about 3 to 6 inches with a swath of about 6 to locally 9 inches from southwestern Wisconsin through Dane County and then into the east central portion of the state. Doppler track shows all the snow now moving off to the east. A couple of flurries might still be out there, mainly east of Madison, but those should end pretty quickly. Temperatures right now are in the 20s. Notice out to the west they're starting to fall off, and that's because skies are clearing out. The winds are also dying down. We had a lot of blowing and drifting of the light, fluffy snow. Now the strongest winds are confined to the southeastern part of the state. Wind chills right now still pretty tolerable in the lower teens. By tomorrow morning, we'll drop to about 8 degrees above zero with partly cloudy skies overnight. Tomorrow will be partly sunny and cold with high temperatures in the upper teens. Looks like we'll have a couple of quiet and cold days before another storm system affects us toward the middle part of the weekend. I'll have more details on that in a few minutes.
Gary, thanks. Now, if you're just getting ready to head home after work, be on the lookout for some slick spots out there.
Our Brady Mallory is keeping an eye on roads as you make your commute home. Brady.
Well, I've heard this expression a few times now. Just because you have four-wheel drive doesn't mean you have four-wheel stop. So everyone, please take your time and be careful. Well, if we look at this map here, we can see that there is a lot of purple on it. And the purple means there are some slippery stretches of roads out there, including on the Beltline, all around in the Madison area, Fitchburg, Verona, Marksville. So really take your time out there, allow some extra space between you and the other cars. You want to get home in one piece. It might be a little slower, but at least you'll get home. So remember that, and we'll send it back to Eric.
All right, Brady, thank you. Now, there was a silver lining to getting as much snow as we did. Certainly some crashes, but not as many as there could have been.
Jamie Perez spoke with the Dane County Dispatch Center this afternoon, and she joins us now with what they saw. Jamie.
Right, so Dane County Dispatch said that there was actually a pretty typical response to a post-snowy morning commute. Several notes on some incidents that they did respond to today. They said that they responded to a crash, a 3-car crash on the Beltline, a few semi-trucks that were jackknifed on the side of the interstates, and several slide-offs. Now, the operations manager with the Dane County Dispatch told me today that they usually respond to more accidents when we have 1 inch of snow compared to the several inches that we got recently.
When we get an inch, people aren't afraid to go out. They say, oh, it's just an inch of snow, I'll go out. And so you have, you know, heavier traffic and perhaps people not paying as close attention or maybe not being quite as careful as they would when they wake up this morning and they find, I don't know, I think I had 6 or 7 inches in my driveway. So maybe people are taking it a little easier because there's more snow.
Now, Paul Logan, who you just heard from, also said that because of the pandemic, there's actually been fewer cars on the road, so they have not been responding to as many traffic-related incidents as they normally would. And he also is pushing out a gentle reminder that today, even though they didn't respond to as many calls as they normally would, they still did get a few dozen calls for all the same incidents. So just a reminder that if you see a car that slid off into the ditch or the side of the road, that if it has caution tape on it or any sort of marker or indicator, that usually means that Dane County Dispatch is already aware and already taken care of that. So they really appreciate the fact that so many people want to help and report these things, but they're just trying to dial it back on the number of calls they are getting for these same incidents over and over.
All right, Jamie Perez reporting live near the Beltline. Jamie, thank you. The snow provided a challenge for most of our school districts in the area today. Call off class altogether or make kids log on remotely.
Even after a year of virtual learning, the decision wasn't as simple as you might think. Gabriella Becerra shows us why.
If it looks like a snow day and it feels like a snow day, it must be one, right? Well, that's the case for a lot of districts in our area, but others are turning to a new option. Mount Horeb schools are one of the first to try the untraditional snow day.
If I were to just draw the blinds here today, it could be 85 and sunshine outside, or it could be 2 degrees and snowing.
Switching from in-person to virtual learning when the weather makes travel difficult. Superintendent Steve Salerno says it's the best of both worlds.
When we first announced this, there was some families who just said, come on, Steve, just let kids be kids, for crying out loud. I think we can do both. And so by allowing an e-learning day today also allows the kids to get out and get some fresh air and run around and enjoy a snow day.
Wanakee students, however, got a bonus day of winter break.
We were all excited to have our students return today.
5th through 12th graders were going to join the younger students in person for the first time this year. But the forecast yesterday afternoon didn't quite prepare the district for what roads looked like this morning.
We woke up this morning and we're assessing it at about 4:45. We certainly had a significant more snowfall, more wind, and more challenges on our roads.
Superintendent Randy Gutenberg says Wanakee schools anticipate trading in traditional snow days for virtual learning days, but teachers and students need some warning a day in advance.
Making sure that we have some lead time to make that shift so that we can make sure that the students have the materials they need and the teachers are prepped to be able to change their model if they're teaching in person to now shift to a virtual piece.
Some districts that I spoke to that chose a traditional snow day today will turn to virtual learning tomorrow if the weather permits a longer closure. In Mount Horeb, Gabriela Becerra, News 3 Now.
Many other districts in our area told us the reasoning behind their snow day choice. You can look for your school's response on our website, channel3000.com. Our First Warn meteorologists are continuing to bring you the latest weather updates in southern Wisconsin. You can get hourly forecast, road conditions, and a whole lot more on our First Warn weather app. You can download it for free in your phone's app store.
The Biden administration plans to ship states a lot more vaccines, increasing supply by about 17% next week. In Wisconsin, we're still only getting about 70,000 doses a week. And to plan ahead, DHS has announced who will be next in line, starting with child care workers, teachers, and staff at after-school programs like the Boys and Girls Club and the YMCAs. And then people in Medicaid long-term care programs like Family Care and Iris, and then some essential workers in contact with the public like 911 operators, bus drivers, grocery store employees, farmers, and their employees. Remember, only frontline healthcare workers were eligible in Group 1A, so this next group includes other healthcare workers essential to hospital operations. And lastly, people in congregated living like adult family homes, shelters, and prisons.
We would love to have 80% coverage by the end of June. That would be a 6-month period of rolling out this vaccine. In order to do that, we need 3 times the number of doses we're getting now, probably a little bit more than that, because every week we don't have it. We get a little farther behind in trying to achieve that goal.
About 1% of people in Wisconsin are fully vaccinated as of right now. That's more than 69,000 people. Meanwhile, 362,000 total doses are in arms. Yesterday, over 14,000 doses were given in Wisconsin. We're approaching 850,000 vaccines reserved for the Badger State so far.
State Republicans think their ideas will help Wisconsin catch up with other states when it comes to getting vaccines in arms. 2 bills passed out of committee this morning. The main bill directs the Wisconsin Department of Health Services to include people who are 60 years and older in the highest level of priority when it comes to distributing vaccines. It also calls for establishing a statewide platform or website that will tell people when they are eligible for the vaccine and help schedule appointments to get one.
The troubling thing to me is that DHS seems to not have any urgency in this situation whatsoever.
At this point, we need more vaccine, and what we should be doing is ensuring that we do everything in our power to try to get that vaccine into the state, but we need the federal government to step up.
The Assembly Committee on Health also passed a bill that allows pharmacy technicians and students to help give vaccines. The bills will now head to the Assembly floor, a possible floor for debate there.
The state Senate has been in session for hours this afternoon debating whether to overturn the state's mask mandate.
Naomi Coles has been tracking this session and joins us from the Capitol with more. Naomi, where does this currently stand?
It could be a long evening. Senators started debating this right around 1 o'clock, and then just about 4 o'clock, they broke to go into caucus. And as of right now, from what we know, they are still in caucus. We're still waiting for them to come back to the floor. Republicans argue that the mask mandate rests on an unlawful order, the statewide public health emergency. That was first put in place in March and set to last 60 days before the governor continued to renew it. The governor issued the mask order in late July. Democrats say if this wasn't a political gesture, lawmakers would have overturned it before the election.
We wanted to debate and have a hearing on face masks, they can do so. This is not about whether face masks are good or bad. This is about repeatedly issuing emergency orders contrary to what the law allows.
But the rest of society is wondering what the hell we're doing here.
The run to the court.
23, mostly medical associations, registered their opposition to the resolution. No groups registered in favor of this. Now, county and local level mask mandates like the one here in Dane County, those would stay in place no matter what happens to the mask mandate statewide. Now, this mandate, however, is the only statewide COVID-19 measure in place in Wisconsin.
Naomi, live at the Capitol. Thank you. State and county health officials recorded 1,263 new cases. The state has reached an all-time total of 536,490. Roughly 22,000 of those cases remain active. At least 5,851 have died of coronavirus complications. 59 new deaths were confirmed today.
The White House says the U.S. expects to deliver enough vaccine to states this summer for 2-dose regimen for 300 million Americans. The White House press secretary says the president and administration officials are also continuing to work with members of Congress on his $1.9 trillion economic relief plan. But with Senate Republicans questioning the price tag.
Many of us have said for a long time that anything that we do related to the coronavirus needs to be targeted. It needs to be fiscally responsible.
The work must move forward, preferably with our Republican colleagues, but without them if we must.
Well, President Biden is expected to reopen enrollment for Obamacare Thursday as part of a series of executive actions on health care. It's a first step toward making good on a campaign promise to boost the Affordable Care Act. It comes at a time when more Americans could be facing a loss of health coverage because of pandemic-related economic turmoil. The Trump administration cut open enrollment on the federal exchanges in half to just 6 weeks. It ended on December 15th, but Joe Biden has the power to open it back up.
It has been nearly a year since UW Health saw its first patient who tested positive for COVID-19. Now UW Health is looking back on its progress when it comes to it.
I feel really confident that we did the right things, knowing there were, significant, fiscal consequences to that. There were significant staffing consequences. We made other people's lives more difficult. But in the end, I think most people would agree, it was worth it. It was worth it to be prepared.
In the last year, 941 patients have been hospitalized with COVID-19 at UW Health, with a single-day high of 90 patients.
More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, senators were sworn in this afternoon ahead of Donald Trump's impeachment trial, where there may not be enough Republican votes for a conviction. And coming up tonight at 6, the Wisconsin pharmacist charged after intentionally ruining hundreds of doses of the COVID-19 vaccine is set to enter a plea, and we'll have the latest next hour. And marginal losses in Tuesday trading on Wall Street. The Dow falls 23 points. The Nasdaq loses 10. The S&P down a half dozen. We'll be right back.
In the truck game, greatness is defined by a relentless commitment to the customer, forged over decades, built by a team resolute in helping you achieve your greatness. Experience this award-winning lineup today. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 44 years straight and counting.
Hurry to get $7,250 in total savings on a Built Ford Tough F-150 XLT at your local Ford dealer.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
My lips get so dry and cracked, I need serious relief.
That's why I use O'Keefe Slip Repair. It's all-day moisture in one use and is guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked lips.
Also available in O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands.
Want your brain better? Unlike ordinary memory supplements, Noriva has clinically proven ingredients that fuel 5 indicators of brain performance: memory, focus, accuracy, learning, and concentration. Try our new gummies for 30 days and see the difference.
Who is USAA made for? It's made for this guy, a veteran who honorably served. And it's made for her. She's serving now. We made it for all branches and all ranks, whether they served one tour or made a career of it. We also made USAA for military spouses and their kids. USAA is easy to work with and can save you money on auto, home, and renter's insurance. Become a member today. Call us for a quote. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
USAA. How do I get you Bob's discount on such great quality furniture? I build personal relationships with my suppliers.
Thanks for coming to my kids' school play, Bob.
Stop lying, Pinocchio. You're a bad boy.
I've been thinking. I'll give you that deal on extendable dining sets.
I just want to be a real boy.
Get Bob's discount! Only at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Tonight at 6, the state Senate is set to decide whether to overturn the governor's mask mandate, and Wisconsin health officials announced who's next up for a COVID vaccine. We're looking into how long it'll take to get to this next group.
Download the Channel 3000 First Warn Weather app today. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
A man suffered serious injuries after falling 30 feet at a construction site. The Madison Fire Department says he was working at a building near the intersection of North Ingersoll and East Mifflin Streets Monday afternoon. Crews said the man suffered multiple injuries but was alert when they arrived. The man said he was walking on a catwalk when he fell 30 feet to the concrete below. OSHA is investigating. The second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump took another step forward today as senators swore an oath as they became jurors, a day after House managers delivered to the Senate a sole article of impeachment against Trump, accusing him of inciting the deadly riot at the Capitol on January 6th. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky tried to get the trial dismissed this afternoon. While the Senate rejected that attempt, the 55 to 45 procedural vote shows there likely won't be enough Republicans crossing party lines for a conviction.
A major winter storm system impacting millions of Americans across the country now. It also triggered a deadly tornado in the south. That tornado outside Birmingham, Alabama, ripped the walls right off a hotel, flattened other structures, and even led to the death of a man. The weather system also dumped more than a foot of snow in parts of the Midwest, causing multiple accidents and collisions. That storm now moving from the Midwest to the Northeast, bringing with it heavy snow and freezing rain.
Well, let's get a look at your first warned weather. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with your forecast. Gary.
Well, that storm was certainly a difficult one to predict, as far as exact totals, because depending on where you were, by a county or two, one way or another, that made a big difference in the snow totals. Here are some of the heavier totals that we found. Horicon up in Dodge County, a little over 9 inches, almost 9 inches in Mineral Point. Fitchburg, 8.5 inches. Picked up 7.5 here at the station. Sauk City, 7 inches. Lancaster, just about 7 inches. But to the south, where we thought the heavier snow would fall, there was still a pretty decent amount of snow, generally between about 4 and 5 inches through Jefferson County, down into Rock County with Janesville and Brodhead near 5 inches. And then farther to the north, Portage had about 4 inches. By the time you get to the Dells, it was down to about 1 inch or 2. La Crosse, a trace of snow. That's how sharp the cutoff was. So the snow comparison right now, you can see, actually go back to that here. So far this winter, 28 inches of snow, only 0.4 of an inch below the average, which right now is 28.4 inches. But last year, we're still running behind that. We were at 37.2 inches at this point. So here's the snowfall accumulation. You can see that very sharp cutoff on the northern end of the storm. To the south, there was a wider swath of about 3 to 6 inches of snow through the Chicago area. Lesser amounts to the south where there was some freezing rain mixed in. Heaviest snow totals were south and west of Des Moines, Iowa, and over far eastern portions of Nebraska. Some areas there were around 1 foot of snow. But you can see definitely the heaviest snow or the thickest snow cover on the ground basically runs from Madison Madison down into northern Illinois, and then back through much of the southern half of Iowa. Some heavier snow totals up into northern Minnesota as well. But notice the central portion of the state, not much in the way of snow, and parts of the UP of Michigan, very little snow on the ground at all. Now, as we take a look at Doppler track, things have quieted down across the state. All the snow has moved off to the east, so we're not expecting anything more other than a couple of flurries east of Madison. Three things you need to know. Cold weather moves in for tomorrow and Thursday with high temperatures in the upper teens. Lows by Thursday morning could be down to slightly below zero. Some snow is likely from late Saturday into Sunday. That could bring some snow accumulations, in another storm system later next week from late Wednesday into Thursday and possibly Friday could bring additional snow accumulations. That's because these storm systems are lined up one right after another across the Pacific Ocean. Huge storm system heading into the Gulf of Alaska, another one along the west coast, and then another one down to the south that'll pretty much stay to our south, at least at this point. We'll just get maybe a few clouds from that, but the snow will stay down to the south. As we look at weather track across the Midwest right now, things pretty quiet across our part of the country. The snow has moved off to the east with the main storm system. Right now, we're just dealing with the cold air, with temperatures now in the teens to our north and west, and that's the cold weather that'll be moving in for the next couple of days. For tomorrow, look for partly sunny skies, but it will be a little colder with a high of 18. 7 to 10 day forecast. 18 on Thursday after an early morning low of 2 below zero. Mid-20s on Friday, back to around 30 for the weekend, but the possibility for some snow accumulations from late Saturday through Saturday night into Sunday. Another storm system toward the end of next week brings the potential for some snow from late Wednesday into Thursday and Friday as we turn colder at the end of next week. As we take a look at first warn traffic, the roads right now in pretty good shape, at least the major highways, as the plows have done a really good job of getting those cleared, and if anything, they're just wet. Beltline right now in pretty good shape. Travel times either direction, 15 minutes on the Beltline. If you head out of Madison down towards Janesville, it's a 26-minute commute from the Beltline southward to Sauk City on US 12 from Middleton. It'll take you 17 minutes. And from downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151, it's an 18-minute commute. That's your News 3 Now first warn traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, Aaron Rodgers speaking out again after the Packers NFC Championship game loss. What he's saying about his future in Green Bay. That's next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Dear Winter, it's been fun getting to know you. Sleet, blizzards, ice. I love that you don't hold back. We didn't take it personally when you tried to bury us under 6 feet of snow. It's cool. You do your thing, and we'll do ours. Stay chill. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can get $500 customer cash on a new 2021 Toyota 4Runner. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Is your credit score getting in the way of the things you want to do? Personal loans through NetCredit offer fast and flexible lending. Borrow up to $10,000 and choose repayment terms that work for you. You may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan.
Millions of customers are leaving their providers and switching to Spectrum. And if you have satellite, it's not hard to see why. Because unlike satellite, Spectrum gives you all the services you need, like internet and TV from one provider. They do? Yeah, they do. And Spectrum has the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds at 200 megabits for $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. Spectrum wins on TV, too. Unlike satellite, Spectrum doesn't have an ugly dish to install. And you get exclusive premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
Wow, really?
Really. Plus, Spectrum has more free HD and free on demand. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. And unlike satellite providers, Spectrum doesn't have contracts or early termination fees. We'll even buy out your current contract up to $500. Switch to America's fastest growing internet, TV, and voice provider. Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each. Ask about our easy self-install options. Call 833-909-4499.
Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison 2021. Get ready to nominate your favorites online for Best of Madison in over 140 categories. Nominations open February 1st. Learn more at madisonmagazine.com.
Right now, join Planet Fitness for no enrollment. $10 a month, no commitment. 2020 is over. Make your move today with tons of variety in our clean and spacious clubs. And spread out while you work out with cardio distancing and our new crowd meter. Plus, use our app to get moving anywhere. Your fitness is essential. Join for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Hurry, this deal ends January 27th.
5 Madison area locations. Sign up for $10 a month. Stop in today.
Incomparable design makes it beautiful. State-of-the-art technology makes it brilliant. The Lexus NX with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert, and Amazon Alexa compatibility standard. Experience the crossover in its most visionary form.
Lease the 2021 NX300 all-wheel drive for $359 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
After the NFC Championship game loss against the Buccaneers, quarterback Aaron Rodgers said he doesn't know what his future holds. Well, today on the Pat McAfee Show, Rodgers said that ultimately his future is not in his control.
What just kind of hit me in the moment, I was thinking about, Aaron Jones and Corey Linsley and other guys we have under contract, Big Dog, guys who I don't know what their future is going to be, and myself included. Now, obviously, after the season that I had and, potentially win an MVP, and, we obviously made it another good run, I don't think that there's any reason why I wouldn't be back. But, look, I think there's not many absolutes, as you guys know, in this business.
The UW's Eric Barnett has been named the Big Ten Co-Wrestler of the Week. Barnett received the award after pinning Purdue's Devin Schroeder, who is the number 2 ranked 125-pounder in the nation. The Badgers won their first duel of the season this weekend against the Boilermakers and moved up 6 spots in the rankings to be the number 16th team in the nation. Well, 1 year ago today, the world lost a sports legend. Basketball great Kobe Bryant was killed along with his daughter Gianna and 7 others in a helicopter crash in California. College baseball coach John Altobelli, his wife Carrie, and daughter Alyssa were among the lives lost.
It was the most surreal day. It was one of the worst days, obviously, ever. But in a weird way, just the love and the support I got that day from so many people, I'll remember that part of the day, too. And it was equally special as it was tragic.
It's a lot of things that die in this world, but legends never die. And he's exactly that.
Bryant retired from basketball in 2016, having played his entire professional career with the Los Angeles Lakers. Several times during last season's victorious playoff and NBA Finals run, the Lakers wore their Black Mamba jerseys to commemorate Bryant and his daughter.
And we'll be right back with a final check of your First Warn forecast.
The modern farmhouse look is here to stay, and we have it for less at Slumberland Furniture. Use a beige or light gray sofa as your base to build on. Add home-style pillows and unique farmhouse accessories. Get your current look for less at Slumberland Furniture.
Menards carries everything you need to renovate your kitchen. Start your update with our huge selection of over 10,000 kitchen cabinet styles and finishes. Shop top brands with great features like soft closed doors and drawers, cabinet lighting, and more. Design the kitchen of your dreams for free in-store or at home with our You Create program on Menards.com. Save today on everything for your next project right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all means that you call Gruber Law Offices and your case is handled. You don't have to worry about anything anymore.
As soon as you make that call, you're going to have somebody on your side.
They're going to give you all the information that you need to know. They're going to make sure that you're feeling secure about everything in the process.
It's a phrase we'll never forget.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Still hard to find a spot, just easier to park. Still the big move, just more moving. Still singing, just more in tune. Still the gang's all here, just less are we there yet. The Chevy family of SUVs, making life's journey just better.
Get over $3,700 cash allowance on most 2021 Equinox models. Plus, current Chevy owners with an eligible GM credit card get an additional $1,750 total allowance. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
So I can get the latest phones free with no hidden requirements?
Yep. And do I have to get the most expensive plan?
Nope. No plan restrictions.
Okay, but we have to trade in our phones.
Right?
Right?
Nope. Keep your phones.
Did you say free phones?
Yep. The latest phone's free for you.
Okay.
Switch to US Cellular and get the latest 5G phones free with no hidden requirements. US Cellular.
Incredible savings on mattresses during the January mattress sale at Slumberland Furniture. Start your year off with a great night's sleep. Get a Sealy memory foam queen mattress for $349. Comes conveniently in a box. The January mattress sale at Slumberland.
We have some breaking news just within the last few minutes. The state Senate has voted to overturn Governor Evers' mask mandate. The resolution will now head to the state assembly. We'll have more on this ahead on News 3 Now at 6 and on channel3000.com.
Let's head to meteorologist Gary Canalti, who has a final check of our forecast. Gary?
Well, now that the snow is over, look for the temperatures to start cooling down. You can see on Doppler track all the snow now away from southern Wisconsin. There might be a flurry or two east of Madison, but those should be over with pretty quickly. Temperatures right now, lower 20s, a few upper teens to our north and west with wind chills generally in the teens. Look for a high temperature tomorrow of about 18. We'll be down to about 2 below zero for tomorrow night. And then look for a warm up for the weekend with some snow chances then, and then again next week.
All right, Gary, thanks. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now. CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.